In this video, we'll talk about how to start writing a book for beginners.
Let's get to it. We're Roger and Carolyn Nielsen. We've had years of experience writing. We published a magazine for 18 years, and before that, Raj worked for several other magazines. So lots of experience in writing.
You may be a beginner in writing, but you're not a beginner in your subject. In this video, we will give you concrete steps to turn your dream of writing a book into reality.
The place to begin as a writer of a book is with your purpose. You have got to have a rock solid purpose. And it's got to be more than, I want to make money. Because when things get tough, and they will, when you get discouraged, or when you feel like this is taking forever, or I don't know how to do this, this is too hard. If you have a rock solid purpose that keeps you going, so your purpose has to be something personal. Raj, would you like to share the purpose that you had in your first book?
Well, okay. When I first started my book, Writing Content, my main purpose for writing it was that I wanted to write a book. So it was one of my bucket list items. I wanted to do it. And so I took what I knew, and that was how to write a magazine article. And at the time, the content was a key word on the internet for writing material for the internet. So that's why I titled my book, Writing Content, to talk about writing content for magazines and for the internet. But
right.
my purpose in writing it was just for me. I wanted to write a book. And
you wanted to prove that you could do that.
I wanted to prove that I could do it.
So it was a mindset issue.
Yes.
And a lot of times, a lot of us have mindset issues that are the block. That is what's keeping us from writing our book, from sharing our brilliant idea or our expertise or our genius with other people. We have this mindset that no, people like me, I'm not a writer, all these things that come up. And so the first thing the first hurdle you may have to climb is your mindset and just deciding.
Yes.
Setting that goal.
And then doing it, because once you get it done, you think, hey, I could do this again. and I have done. The key is to, I believe, in doing your book, is to imagine yourself doing it first. If you can imagine yourself doing it and not focusing on the work that is involved,
right,
then you can do it. I wrote this book in 4 months. From idea to writing, editing, polishing, 4 months. So I know that it can be done in a fairly short amount of time, but you don't focus on the time, you focus on the idea and your purpose.
You're not looking at all that you have ahead of you to do. You're looking at what you've already done and focusing on that rock solid purpose, your big why.
What I like to do is to view myself on a quest. Writing is a personal, solitary experience. I avoid discussions about any book that I'm writing. This is my personal choice. The reason is when I start to talk to somebody about it, I lose interest in it. I lose enthusiasm in it, and it just kind of slows things down.
Yeah, I think we start doubting ourselves. And when I talk about a project, I think, why do I think I could do this? Who am I to write a book?
Or do I really have something to say?
Yes. Who will read my book?
Nobody will want to read my book.
Yeah.
So
if you don't talk about it with other people, you can keep those conversations that crop up to a minimum.
Yes, and I think it's important to surround yourself with positive people. You don't want somebody to bring you down.
No.
And if they ask you, well, how's your book coming? I smile, I nod, and then I change the subject. I don't
right.
like talking about it. And here again, that's my personal experience with it. But I think it's important to stay positive as you write.
When you have something hard to do, it helps to reward yourself. Choose short goals and reward yourself at the end. For instance, I'm going to write for 4 hours and then I'm going to take the dog out for a walk. Or I'm going to do a chapter, and after I write this chapter, I'm going to eat an ice cream cone. Or something that you really enjoy, a little thing, not a big deal, not take the day off, but just keep yourself going.
It also helps me to reflect on difficult projects that I've already completed. Writing the book here was difficult in the beginning, and so I reflect on that. It also helped to reflect on projects that I've already done, such as writing the book in the beginning. One of the most difficult experiences that we've ever had, which I refer back to when I start a new project, we had to deliver speeches to a large group of people in Riberalta, Bolivia.
It was in an outdoor amphitheater. The sound system was horrible. It was so echoey, and besides that, there must have been 500 children there. And they were paying no attention at all. This was a holiday for them. And they were running up and down, screaming and hollering.
And did we tell you we had to do it in Spanish?
And it was in Spanish. And Roger had quite a bit of experience in Spanish, speaking Spanish, but that was Argentina, and it was 20 years before. And it was my first experience in a Spanish-speaking country, so my Spanish was not great. I wasn't even sure if the people could hear me, much less understand me.
But we survived the experience. We got through it.
And when it was over, I felt so good.
But when we now have difficult projects, what we say to each other is, remember Riberalta. And we immediately feel better because that was such a hard experience.
If we can survive Riberalta, we can do anything.
And well, even this project here with these videos, it was a difficult experience for us.
And when we look back on this, we're going to say, remember when we did 20 videos in a day? And we will feel a sense of accomplishment. It will give us courage to do other things. You have had the same sorts of experiences. Things you've done that have been really hard. You've done them. They came out well. Maybe not perfectly, but you grew and you built your business by doing hard things, things that you've never done before. It's the same with writing your book.
Writing a book is unique. There's no other experience like it in the world. When you say to yourself, can I do this? Answer with, yes, I can.
If we waited for professional writers to write our books, they wouldn't ever get written because there's just too many books. We each have to write our own story. And there's nobody better than you to write your story.
I want to write a book too, but they never do.
99%.
So let yourself go. Let your heart be your guide, and the words will follow. If this content has been helpful to you, we invite you to watch our other video, How to Get an Idea for Writing a Book.